If a woman is never concerned about losing you, she may never develop genuine respect for your presence. Men need to understand this right now. This isn't some casual piece of advice or a small detail you can afford to overlook. It is an important foundation if you want to maintain self-respect, build genuine attraction, and remain in control of your own life and relationships. The exact moment a woman feels that she has completely figured you out, has you wrapped around her finger, and knows you will always be there no matter what, the attraction can begin to disappear. It doesn't necessarily fade gradually. Sometimes it can drop dramatically. She may still keep you around, talk to you every day, or even remain in the relationship. But don't confuse familiarity with genuine desire, passion, or admiration. She may simply be staying because of comfort, routine, and convenience. You become the safe and predictable background presence in her life instead of someone who naturally captures her attention. When you make yourself permanently available and require almost no effort to maintain a connection with you, you remove one of the psychological factors that can create perceived value, limited availability. Human beings often take for granted what is constantly available, always eager, and perpetually waiting on standby. If you answer every message within seconds, cancel your plans the moment she calls, and constantly bend over backward just to keep her happy, you aren't necessarily demonstrating loyalty. You may be demonstrating that you don't place enough value on your own time. You are effectively communicating that your time has no boundaries, your attention has no limits, and your presence comes without any consideration for your own needs. A man who doesn't respect his own time can struggle to earn respect from others, and someone who behaves as though he has nowhere else to go gives very little reason for another person to appreciate his availability. Today, we're going to break down that weak mindset and change the dynamic in a healthier way. This isn't about playing childish psychological games, creating fake arguments, or trying to make her jealous with cheap tactics. Those strategies usually come from insecurity and a desire for quick attention. Real confidence is quiet, calm, and grounded. This is about positioning yourself properly in your own life. It's about becoming a man with enough self-respect, purpose, and individuality that his presence cannot simply be taken for granted. When you operate from that standard, you don't need to yell, prove yourself, or force someone to care. The dynamic can naturally change. A woman may respond differently when she sees that you are focused on your own mission, maintain healthy boundaries, and are willing to leave a relationship where you are consistently disrespected or taken for granted. Instead of constantly testing your limits, she may begin to recognize the value of your time. Instead of assuming your attention is guaranteed, she may become more intentional about maintaining the connection. Mutual respect grows when both people understand that a healthy relationship requires effort from both sides. Let's get directly into how you build that unshakable leverage. Create distance to increase desire. Women don't necessarily desire something simply because it is completely available to them at every moment. Genuine attraction can struggle to grow when everything becomes overly comfortable, predictable, and completely handed over without effort. Healthy attraction can benefit from personal space, independence, and a sense that both people still have lives of their own. Have you ever wondered why people sometimes become more interested in someone who seems slightly out of reach? It isn't always an accident. Uncertainty can activate curiosity, encourage emotional investment, and create greater mental engagement. The moment you become constantly available, endlessly agreeable, and desperate to please, the mystery can disappear. You may go from someone she is excited to know into someone she simply assumes will always be there. Stop making yourself instantly available at every moment of the relationship, constantly blowing up her phone, sending endless check-in messages, and repeatedly trying to prove how much you care doesn't necessarily make someone value you more. In many cases, it can have the opposite effect. When you give away all of your attention without limits, you remove the opportunity for the other person to experience your absence. To create genuine desire, give yourself enough space to live your own life. Redirect that energy toward your goals, passions, friendships, and personal development. You don't have to respond instantly to every notification, and you don't need to drop whatever you're doing simply to maintain a conversation. Allow yourself to have a life that doesn't revolve around her every movement. That healthy distance creates room for curiosity. When you create appropriate space, her psychological focus can change. Instead of comfortably expecting your attention, she may begin wondering what you're doing. She may start thinking about where you are, what you're focused on, and why you aren't constantly sitting behind your phone waiting for her. That natural gap can encourage her to reach out and reconnect. You aren't being cold, cruel, or malicious. You're simply maintaining your own world instead of making another person the absolute center of it. By allowing someone to occasionally miss you, you give the relationship room to breathe and allow attraction to develop without constant pressure. Control your availability. The more endlessly accessible you become, the more easily your time can be taken for granted. This is a basic principle of human behavior. When something is unlimited and available whenever someone wants it, its perceived value can decline. When a woman knows with complete certainty that she can demand your time, attention, and energy whenever she wants, she may stop recognizing the effort required to maintain that connection. A healthy relationship doesn't require a man to behave like a servant waiting beside the phone. People are generally attracted to individuals who have goals, responsibilities, and a sense of purpose. If you cancel your personal plans, abandon your schedule, or immediately drop your priorities every time she sends a casual message, you may be communicating that your own life doesn't have enough direction. Control your availability with discipline. Your career, physical health, personal mission, friendships, and self-development should remain important parts of your life. Controlling your availability isn't about pretending to be busy when you're actually sitting around doing nothing. It's about genuinely having a full, demanding, and purposeful life that naturally limits how much free time you have. When you're genuinely focused on building your future and improving your skills, you simply won't have 6 hours every day to waste on endless back and forth texting. She can recognize that your time is a finite resource that deserves respect. When spending time with you requires actual coordination and mutual effort, the moments you share can carry much greater meaning. Let her feel some uncertainty about you. Complete certainty can sometimes remove excitement from a relationship. The moment someone feels that they have you completely figured out, pinned down, and guaranteed forever, the emotional spark can begin to weaken. Think back to the beginning of a connection with someone you were genuinely interested in. What kept you checking your phone, replaying conversations, and thinking about that person throughout the day? It wasn't necessarily complete predictability. It was the exciting uncertainty of discovering where the relationship might go. That small unknown created anticipation and kept you emotionally